Hi everyone, Kenny here from the Q LGBTQ Creative Network, and I'm about to be joined by UK band artists, grunge rockers, Second Cities, and I'm seeing them. They just came in, and I am going to invite good fun stuff.
So,
There we go.
hello, hang on. That you seen the wrong side of us. 1 second. There we go. Hello, how you doing, guys? You're right.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, amazing.
Excellent,
Thank
thank
you.
you. How are you?
Little bit tired, but it's been a good, productive day. Yeah, how you doing, mate? You good? You good?
Good. It's I've got 4 hours on you because it's only 3:30 in the afternoon here. It's 7:30 at night for you. So it's
Yeah.
you're a little more tired than I am. So I
Oh,
can totally appreciate that.
oh, yeah, I was up at 6 o'clock this morning because our new song dropped, and I was like, "Wow, I need to be on this. I'm really excited. I want to be the first person to play it." And
You literally walked, like, just
I
barged
wasn't,
in
I
and
wasn't
woke me
though,
up.
but I wasn't the first person to play it though. So.
Woke up at 9 o'clock and nearly 200 people had streamed it. It was awesome.
Well, I mean that's why we're here because you have a brand new song out and it is called Blur in Time. But before we get to that, because for anybody who's watching and people are kind of jumping in here, which is awesome. I just seen King Vagabond join in. Um, let's talk about first of all the band is Second Cities. Who do we have with us? Introduce yourselves.
I'm Jamie, I'm the vocalist for the band,
I'm Josh. I'm the drummer.
and this is our friend Lainey who's stopping with us whilst we're out on a holiday this week.
You always have to have your friends with you, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So as I was saying, brand new song is out, Blur in Time. It just, well, it was just this morning or late last night, I guess, for you for when it came out. And it's been a little bit of time since you've released something new. First of all, I have to say, love the song. It's reminding me, it's given me some maybe early red jumpsuit apparatus kind of sounds to it. It's got a bit of a mixture.
You're speaking to my heart right now. That is like such a compliment.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, no, it has that feel, it has that vibe to it. I am a big fan of that alt rock sound that they're putting out. A little bit of Yellow Card I can kind of hear in there. So that kind of sound is, I mean, for me, it's right up my alley. It's not necessarily something that in the past, I guess, couple of years has had as much attention as I think that it should have. But tell me about the song. Where did it come from? How was it written? What's the love behind it?
Yeah, sure. So, the song was wrote. We actually recorded this 10 months ago, so it's been quite a
Ah,
journey to get it to where we are now with the song. With everything that's going on in the world, with it, like with the pandemic that's continuing and things like that. It's been a long, long road and a long slog since our previous released music. But in during the first like wave of coronavirus in the UK, after we were allowed to then start meeting up again because we were stopped from meeting up for about 6 months, we got like a lock-up space, so like a little rehearsal space between just the band ourselves, so we could meet up as much as possible. And Blur in Time was the first song that we wrote in that lockup together, and we still use it today. It's a song that it's more of a poignant track really. Like it got us thinking. We didn't get to spend as much time with each other and the loved ones that may not be here anymore after
mm.
at post pandemic, and just like a bit of a reminder to like make sure you find that time for those people that you care about.
It's and as I said, it is reminiscent to me of that sound, and I'm really happy to hear bands actually keeping on that sound and that style of music. Are you? And I guess it's a little bit different. I'm in Canada, and I think we have a little bit more. I don't know. I want to say that Americans don't appreciate it. I just think that there's so much that's happening in the United States that it kind of gets pushed a little bit to the side. But in the UK, for you, is this sound? Is it? Is it? something that's well received? Is it something that you've been struggling to kind of get out there, or is it like, is it this on trend? Kind of, is it like it really happening for you?
If you'd have asked us 2020, I think the answer would have been a lot different to what it is now. I think there's a
big resurgence in emo music.
A heavy resurgence in emo music.
Especially because of like the
Oh, I've seen a few fans actually. I just want to give a quick hello to Aiden and a quick hello to Try to Smile. These are people that support us quite a lot, so thank you to these guys.
There's some other people in the chat as well.
And make sure you give the Q reviews a like, guys, because they gave us this opportunity today and we're really grateful. Yeah, so with the emo side of things, My Chemical Romance coming back with their song recently, that new song, and recently playing the UK shows that they booked 2 years ago. I was one of the lucky few to catch them at one of those shows, and yeah, wow, what a resurgence. And thank you to American artists, My Chemical Romance, for doing that for us. I mean, there are UK artists and Welsh artists that are more local to us that have also helped shape that sound, like Funeral for a Friend and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think there has been I think there's more focus now on that kind of music, and I think a lot more people feel the pain and understand what the songs are about more now. With I think a lot more people have been able to kind of had to experience loss at a younger age.
I would say even something that I noticed is the blending of some of the emo rock kind of sounds with hyperpop. And you're seeing a lot of artists kind of like dabbling in and out of those two different sounds. And I think that you're right. I think that, having 2 years of lockdown and pandemic and people not, 100% sure when we're going to come out of it, losing people, being separated from people, the outlet wasn't there. And I think now it's just so much, especially young kids, right, who are always looking to identify with. And to say to you, because I think Jamie, you're the LGBT connection in the band.
There's two connections. So there's
myself, two connections.
Yeah, there's myself, and then Damon, who's currently looking after our barbecue outside because he's looking after our food tonight. This is Lainey. Lainey's a fabulous member of our community. She's transgender, and she gives us. We've got this opportunity, and our previous guitarist as well. Ellie, she was also transgender, so we've definitely had connections.
What I will say is that I think that there's a real, I think it's so important. Somebody who's an educator like myself and a youth advocate, I've always looked at how youth look to music so much to be inspired and to feel like they're heard and seen. And I think that, when you have blended bands like this, and I've chatted with other bands like Yesterday's Youth about this, where there's such a gamut of different experiences that you can see in a band like this, plus the music itself. And I mean, it doesn't hurt that the music is awesome because it really helps. But like they get to see themselves in you, and they get to see that it's possible. It's possible to be out there and to not have to just be in one pocket of the world, that it's opened up to more. So I think that, having bands like yourself out there, it's really important. It's really important to put a light on you so that these kids know that you're there. And not just kids, there's lots of people, who aren't kids, who are in rural areas and places. Music has taken on so much more of a prominence and importance now. So yeah, I don't even know how much you think about that, but I know from my perspective, when I find bands like what you're doing, and I'm like, the kids need to know. The kids need to know.
Thank you. Well, thank you. First of all, yeah, we class ourselves as the band that's for music for sad teens with happy faces. So those that look happy on the outside really have something going on the inside, and that doesn't have to be part of the LGBT. But myself, I can definitely speak from having a lot of bad times with negative reactions. I mean, like, I can't imagine what some people have to deal with over in the States. Over here, it's still widely accepted to be gay. Whereas there's plenty of places in the world where it's still not okay, and we still need to be doing work. But I definitely think that our type of alternative music, whether it's metal, emo, that kind of rock, like that edgier side of music, has always been like a beacon of hope for misfits like myself, or people who may see themselves as misfits like myself. Going back to Rob Halford from Judas Priest, I mean,
yeah.
Local to us as well, local to us in the UK. we met him once actually at Practice Studios. Such a sound guy, but um, yeah, I definitely think that this genre of music definitely speaks to the LGBT, well, a lot of the LGBT, and people find a lot of in that message.
And marginalized, I think too, right? Marginalized communities. I think that what's also really great is that being, and I call it blended because it's, I think sometimes they think that if you're going to be referred to somebody as being part of the LGBT community, that it has to be 100%. And what you have is you have a blended where, you know, you do have members from the LGBT community, and then you have members who are just allies of the LGBT community, and you know, your brothers in arms, kind of. Yeah, exactly. It's really important to show that does exist, especially in rock and roll has come a long way. It's come a long way. But rock has always been kind of pushing the boundaries, whether it's been glam or whether it's been, you know, you think back in the 70s and stuff and what's happening with emo, and, you know, you think about the grunge era and things like that. Rock has always been really about those folks who, you know, have something to say. So much more is going on. They're not trying to gloss over it. They're really trying to kind of use the emotion and use the rawness of it to drive home their points. So I think it's really important to show all that stuff. Um, you're coming out of, well, hopefully, for please don't let us go back into it, but we're, you know, you're coming out of a 2-year kind of bizarre pandemic where we've all been saddled. What's changed a little bit for you in terms of your approach? Are you finding, and so two questions, I'm jumping all over the place. What's changed from your approach, but are you finding now, trying to get back to playing live gigs and stuff, has it opened up more? Are there more challenges for you, or is it everybody just wants to get back to where it was?
Yeah, I think there was definitely an element of wanting to get back to normalcy. I think as soon as they lifted the restrictions, everyone kind of jumped into, you know, wanting to go back to see live music and like experience that sort of culture. You know, this is a big part of being young and being youthful, is going out, expressing yourself with friends, meeting new people. It's such a big important part of being, you know, in the being young. Yeah. So it was definitely a big drive for it.
Fully echo what Josh said there. 100%. Yeah, the going out aspect of it for especially like again in our community of music, unsigned music, is one of the biggest ways that we need to keep ourselves going. If it wasn't for there wasn't a demand for it, I don't think we'd be able to keep doing it the way we are. But that just speaks more volumes for the people that support us and the people who are viewing us right now. So thank you to those people, because without people like you, we wouldn't have that we wouldn't have that driving force behind us. We'd have the drive, but we wouldn't have the force, which is you guys, which give us that opportunity to say, yes, well, we have got something that people might want to see and want to engage with.
I think I have something to say as well. Like, I think, especially as someone who's LGBT, obviously I'm close to you guys as a band anyway, but I feel like even like in the community in Birmingham anyway, like there's not a lot of places for queer people anyway, like not even just like young people. Like even as someone who's old enough to drink, you don't always want to be around like drinking for things. And I feel like watching gigs in other places that aren't just bars and like clubs, and it's like you get to connect more, and especially after the pandemic, I think it meant a lot more to connect like the lyrics that you was listening to help you through the pandemic.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess the one thing that has changed is that during the pandemic lockdown period, that's where we had the opportunity to release majority of the material that's online currently. So that 5-track EP and everything, those 3 singles that came before it, if it wasn't for those tracks, if it wasn't for the lockdown, I don't think we'd have been able to handle that release the same way. We wouldn't have had as much attention onto the lockdown videos. Part of me wishes that we'd have had the song that we've dropped now back then, but going forward, it just really solidifies opportunities like this, and the people that we're able to meet through our music is what gives us the reason and the drive to carry on forward. People like you, for example, like we wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for our music. So
it's pretty cool because I mean, I was always a lover of music, but the pandemic gave me the ability to think about things differently, and to say, well, I mean, I started this whole platform because as you know, a gay man and somebody who's working with youth all the time, I wasn't seeing artists out there. It was the same five that I was always seeing, and I was like, you can't tell me that there's not more people out in music out there that are putting music out. Why are we not seeing them? And this is in 2018. So I just set it upon myself. I was like, if I'm going to be doing more in music, I need to know where my community is, what's happening out there, because you can't tell me that they're not out there. And I just started to discover it. But the pandemic really kind of forced us to be like, all right, well, let's take off the training wheels, folks, and let's start meeting people. Like, we have the ability to do things like this. Thank you, Instagram. You know, we have this ability to do these things. Why are we not taking advantage of it? You know, I can't just go down the street and see you live. But I have so much more that I can do now. I can check out your lives when you're doing something like this. I can check out your videos. I can, you know, arrange something like this. And I think that, you know, it forced us into thinking about things differently. And that's the good thing that kind of came from it, is opening up, I think, the lines of communication a little bit more, and giving people, aside from TikTok aside, the TikTok is crazy, but it really gave people the chance to authentically be themselves, talk about the things that they, you know. And now it's kind of almost like, and this is going to be a weird thing, these things are almost like living or live liner notes to an album, because before you'd have to either wait for an interview or read an interview. Now a song comes out like Blur in Time, you get the chance to hear it in real time, what that song's about, where it came from, and it's kind of exciting.
Well, exactly, and it's almost like being able to find a community around ourselves that we didn't even know existed, because, well, I wouldn't have, again, if it wasn't for the powers of technology, the powers of Instagram. Thank you, Metro gods, for giving me this. But if it wasn't for that opportunity, then we would have never met, and we would never know the key reviews. So I definitely think that the internet has definitely become an ally in itself, to those people who do feel like misfits and feel like they haven't got a community, or feel quite isolated in their own communities based on who they are and what they like, or who they like. And we don't need to feel that anymore. We can break those barriers down to the power of the internet.
Especially you guys, because I feel like you really like close with your fans, and you do talk a lot on Instagram and other platforms, and you do try and like form a connection with your fans other than like in person.
I think it's important. I was gonna say, after this, I've seen a few names in here of our fans that we recognise anyway, and some new names as well. So I'll most likely be running through this once we've been on it, and
oh my god, it's that person.
sending a voice note and saying thank you for checking us out, checking out the thingy, because we really appreciate all the support that our community gives us, and we want to give that back through our music.
It's the fan connection is, I mean, it's palpable. Never has a fan had the ability so easily to connect with an artist, and maybe even invited into the live or get a shout out. It's great for the fans. The fans can, you know, especially those fans that are out there that are so, you know, just diehard. It's a great resource for them to almost feel a little bit of part of their family, the band's family, the artist's family. On the flip side of that, because now the pandemic, you're getting back out, you're playing live. How has the reaction been? Because I can only imagine that people salivating, and you releasing music during the pandemic, and then they get it, and then you get to play it for the first time, you know, outside the pandemic. It must be like a free-for-all of just love and salivation and craziness and chaos.
There's been so many shows since pandemic. Before pandemic, I don't think would have been quite the same. Yeah. I think even as little as like before pandemic, not every band would really want to stay till the end to watch every band, because, you know, people have got life. They've got to get up for work at 5 o'clock in the morning. They've got to travel 20 miles down with their equipment in traffic, and it's going to take them 2 hours to get home. I think I found that started to break a little bit.
Everyone appreciates the unique like quality of
Everyone
the
takes
experience.
and takes their time to talk to people. I think that's something that like in a world that has become ever more screen orientated and dedicated to a 15-second period of attention. I think that started to break.
Oh, somebody had something to say.
Yeah, this is one of our fans.
You read
Ah,
it.
me and my friend went to see Second Cities before, and it was such a nice time. My friend got to play on stage, and we both appreciate the band for the music and for the personal connection. That's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, Aiden, they brought, I think his name was Jamie, which kind of the only reason I really remember is because number one, Aiden is a really die-hard fan, and we really couldn't do this without him. And number two, Jamie and I share the same name, so it makes it a little bit easier.
Was it his birthday?
No, I just know for a fact that he's a heavy musician, and I saw basically because we were able to go through our fans' stories and stuff, and we pay attention to what our fans are posting online. We saw he's into his music, he plays guitar, and he's into Green Day. And I know one Green Day song, which I know that I can't butcher up no matter how much I try, because it means a lot to me. And we were like, I pulled him on stage. We didn't rehearse it. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it was such a special moment to capture. And I think that's something going forward with all of our music, all of our releases, all of our shows. We want that one little bit of special memory to remember. We want to be able to make every night memorable for a different reason.
Yeah, it does take on a bit of a different context, eh? After being through a pandemic, you know that you know what it's like to lose it and to lose the ability to play live and connect with your fans. That now, you know, when you do have those moments and you want those moments, they're pretty special. So that being said, you've got Blur in Time out. I just was added to the New Queer Friday playlist, our big playlist. It's sitting up there at the top. And what's coming next? What's I know that you're going to be taking over our Instagram on Thursday. So there'll be lots more coming there. But what's coming for you music wise? And are we headed towards album? Are you going to do singles? Give us the goss.
Well, today we had.
No. All right, first of all, let's talk about what we've got on the go this week. So first of all, yeah, we're doing obviously the takeover with you guys, and part of that takeover, I'm going to leak a 30-second clip of the music video to Blur in Time, which drops on Friday. It's not one of the clips that's been in our adverts. It's going to be an exclusive clip that hasn't been out yet. So come to Q Reviews, guys, to come and check that out. But Friday, the video drops. We have actually been in the studio today. That's why we're all together. We're all back in the studio as we speak this week. So from Tuesday, today was our first day of recording. So it's been really busy today. Really busy.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I thought we just had to make time to do this interview.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm happy for that though. So Tuesday to Friday we're recording this week. We've got more songs that we're recording. Four songs currently that are in the works. I don't know how frequent they're going to be. We're looking between 8 to 12 weeks. But what do you guys want to see? That's what we care about. We want to know what the people from our community think. So if you think that we should be releasing music more often, tell us, and we'll try.
We'll
make it happen. Sorry, that was the Birmingham coming out. Then I couldn't help myself. I swear.
There's no 5-second delay here. It's all good. So you're playing live? Do you like? For a tour, is that something that kind of comes organically, or are you actually sitting down saying, we're getting out there and we want to hit here, and here?
So for a while we have been playing the odd show, but we've actually got I guess we're going to mention it again now. Here's another exclusive for you. We are going on tour in September. We're going on tour in September with a band called Huranova from Italy. They're coming to the UK, and we're doing an 8-day tour with them around the whole area, and that's booked through an agency who choose the dates for us. But I mean, up until now, yeah, we have been picking places that have had a listen or frequent many listeners in a certain area that we have yet to play, or even had two people. I still want to go and see those two people. I don't care how many people we're playing to. At the end of the day, it's the message that matters to us.
A lot
Yeah.
of gigs at like local places as well, like Subside
Oh,
especially.
they're usually packed. The
Yeah.
local ones really pack
Yeah.
out. As
So
I say, obviously it gets a bit harder, but
tour in September. Italian rock is really taking off these days. I can't imagine why. There's a big old band out there that's screaming Ital rock, and so that's exciting. So touring, new music coming. So it must feel like everything's kind of like lining up for you right now, and it feels like from what you're saying it is. So you must have a really great feel. It must be a good feeling to know that coming out of so much time that you're like, all right, guns ablaze, and here we go.
yeah, as I say, 10 months ago, I didn't think we'd be where we are now, but I could say that about the previous 10 months as well. And I think it's just that we are so grateful for every opportunity that does pass our way, and it's again because of the people that are in our community, because of the people who give us our opportunities, like our manager, who go and get those for us. But I think again, the biggest part of it for me is the community that helps us get that message across. Because you could have a message, but no one wants to listen to it. Our message might not be the strongest message, but it's one of the ones that a lot of people seem to take to heart.
Resonate with.
Yeah, and resonate with.
Like even like the Paul Bartholomew, like they invited you back for another gig because they liked you so much and your vibe and your message and stuff.
Yeah, there's a band from the US. Well, they're not from the US. They're a UK band, but they're massive in the United States. They're called Paul Bartholomew. And we played with them. And they're playing Incarceration Festival this month, I think. But like to hear it off them, who literally got like
30,000.
eons and eons of fans on top of us. It really just again solidifies that our message, it might not be for everybody, but those who it is for, that's who we're there for. I don't want my message to be heard by people who don't care for it.
And it's also nice to know that all our blood, sweat, and tears, hard work, like we're investing so much into this for so many. So all of us, we're like dedicated to this. This is what we want to do, and it's just nice to be appreciated by like fans and other big acts. So much so that they ask us to support them on their like tours and like gigs and stuff like that. It just means so much, just to be appreciated for that.
If you ask me what success is, it isn't. It doesn't have to be Queen.
Yeah.
The size of the Queen had. It is the strength of being able to make a difference to one person's life at the end of the day. If that one person finds a message in it that they find that helps them through a day, that's so big.
It's a great way to manage. It's a great way to manage the expectation of what success is. If you allow it to be something bigger than almost every single band out there is never going to have, the same kind of success. But so long as you can walk away from it and be like, we made good music, we made good friends, we played in some great places, we've been able to survive and we feel good about what we put out there. That in itself is success. And it just will be on different levels, right? Different varying proportions. So it's a great way to look at it.
Exactly. As I say, those people, there's no way to measure success apart from managing your expectations, which I completely agree with and resonate with on that level with what you're saying now. Looking at bands like Queen, they're huge, but we ain't that.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But if I can make one difference to one person, one fan's life, if they can find a message and say, you know what, yeah, it's okay to be gay, it's okay to
not know how you feel,
not know how I'm feeling, or
yourself.
not feeling great today. It's okay to feel like that sometimes. It's okay to not be okay sometimes, but also managing the understanding of when it gets too much, and then needing to find that help. So if there are people like that in here, please look for that help. Because we want, well, if our music helps you in that way, great. If it doesn't, find that help, because ultimately that's what our message is. It's love, understanding, community, and just respect for each other.
That's awesome. Well, I think that you probably made a huge difference to a lot of people that you probably don't, even more than you actually are aware of. Definitely some people who are in this chat, and definitely people who are listening to your music. Um, the new song, it's called Blur in Time. It is out. Everybody can go stream it now. These fellas right there are Second City. A couple of members of Second Cities. They're going to be taking over the Instagram here on Thursday, and Thursday night I'm going to be playing them on the Out Loud radio show. So that's a little thing for you. You didn't necessarily know that. So you're going to be on this week's Out Loud show. So it'll be on Thursday night out of Canada. It's around the world, but it broadcasts Thursday night out of Canada. 2 stations broadcasting it on Friday out of Australia, and then on Saturday it'll be broadcasting out of South Africa as well. That show will be. So I'm hoping that lots of people tune in, lots of people hear it, and get turned on to you and the music that you're creating.
And thank you so much, and we really appreciate you. Thank you to everybody in the Q Reviews who keep this platform alive, and thank you to everybody who's joined us today. We really appreciate your time.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we will talk very, very, very soon, because you're going to take over this channel on Thursday.
I'm going to send you a voice now. I'm pumped. I'm psyched. I'm happy, man. I'm looking forward to it. Cool. Well, we'll catch you.
And if anybody wants to, this will be saved, and this will be on the Instagram feed as well, so they can replay this again.
Brilliant. We're going to post it onto our story straight away. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you again so much.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you.
Big love. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, there we go.